In the program today, you're going to see softball scheduled at the Kiowa Ball Field. We're honored to have one of our guests is back, George Renwick, who not only was the first director of Camp Aquahonga in 1968, but before that, the director of Rondak and the director of Kiowa. George, you there somewhere?
Right here.
George Renwick, just can you stand up, let the people see George Renwick? Okay, and of course, Artie Shack was his assistant. Well, George and Artie have promised me that when you go to play softball today on the Kiowa field, they will not drive their cars onto the base paths, and they will not block the baseball field. That was the policy back in the 60s, but no more. Another great honoree I want, some of you, for years, we sang the Kunata fight song. You know, Kunata goes down the field. We have a man who wrote the Kunata fight song in the 50s today. Morty Fink, would you raise your hand up there? Morty Fink, and that Kunata fight song, he'll autograph it for you, he'll sing it with you if you would like. And we have another legend, the TMR legend, Norm Russakoff. Is Norm, where's Norman? Norman's standing up. Norman has promised me, for those of you that were in camp in the 60s, Norman has promised me that if you all go to Kunata and go into the dining hall and sing the Kunata fight song, you don't have to snap your fingers like it used to be. You can cheer as loud as you want. So he's laughing, he remembers. Okay, for the first presentation, we started a tradition a few years ago because we get so much volunteer help in construction, in building the building, that I would like to introduce what I call the head of the Staten Island Good Guys, which is a crew of volunteers that actually do a lot of the building work and enable this to go so much faster at so much reduced cost. He's going to present, I think it's the third Bob the Builder Award, because he is Bob the Builder, to our recipient this year. So Bob Chisano.
Would Jim Gallo please come forward? To the Board of Trustees, the 10 Mile River Scout Museum recognition, the 2007 Bob the Builder Award is presented to Jim Gallo in appreciation for your tireless service to the construction and preservation of the museum and for the installation of the museum's plumbing system, July 14th, 2007. There you go.
Our Wall of Fame is not only a great way to honor someone living or someone who's passed away, but the money that is earned helps the museum. We made a deal with the council that when that wall had paid its debt, in other words, it was solvent and in the black, that all profits beyond that, 40%, would go to the council for camping at TMR Camping Services. And we're happy to announce that this year we have crossed over that line from red to black. So at this point, we would like to present a $1,000 check to the council. First, I'd like to call, I have Bob standing next to me. Bob represents the engineer and wall builder that puts the actual wall that makes it happen. The presentations of the plaques and the tiles are going to be done this afternoon after lunch. There will be some, it's in your program, we're going to have a dedication of the new wing, ribbon cutting, and then we're going to do the tiles, and there'll be a CCC presentation for those that would like to see that. But I'd also now like to call up Mr. David Malatsky. David is the manager and the organizer, and he is the administrator of the Wall of Fame. And at this point, we would like to call up first the Director of Camping of the Greater New York Councils, the Heart, Soul, and Spirit. Come on up, Cedric Bodley. Thank you. On behalf of the 10 Mile River Scout Museum, we gladly present this to the Greater New York Council. Thank you for all the support and all the help. Thanks.
I want you to know,
No free advertising.
even though Sal is in Philadelphia, you still can't take Brooklyn out of the boy, right, Sal?
I tell my New York troops that come to my camps in Philadelphia, I tell them you should be ashamed of yourself. Go home to 10 Mile River. It's true.
He's the Treasure Island camp director now. 10 Mile River directors. And according to the count that I have, we have at least 6 former reservation directors. Actually, we got Cedric as the present one, so we got lucky 7 as far as I know. But this is in no particular order, so it's not necessarily chronological, but I believe I've seen Les Loyson, who was here, I believe directed the reservation many years ago. Les. We got Bud Hass's Bud here. I just want to recognize them. Lex Jervis, who just pointed Bud out to me. Bob Madsen. Ron Timmons. And, of course, Charlie Rogers. And Gary Lerma, so I got 8. Okay, and growing. Do we have any more? Do I believe in... That's right, Sarge Wells. I'm sorry, I forgot. 9. Why here 10? Welcome out your color. 10. Good. We're going for 11. What? We have Bob Madsen. So congratulations, gentlemen. We're glad you could be with us today. Yes.
I may not be able to get back up again.
We have the award for the tallest reservation director.
It occurred to me all of a sudden that the most important thing in my little running things around here was a cheese rebellion. Would you believe that? We had a cheese rebellion. What happened was that the department in the government who issues cheese decided that we were very deserving. And so cheese appeared on the scene like almost a whole building full. So what did we do? We, instead of getting the rebellion stopped quickly, we allowed that the boys, the scouts, make signs, and we marched, they marched on the headquarters and Ken Heim over there in the commissary. And it was kind of an enjoyable thing. I thought, how can we make this work for us? And what we did was, we said, all right, we'll get an award, give an award for the best recipe using cheese. It's amazing how many cheese recipes came in, the reward being that they would not have to eat cheese for 2 days running. I use the term running loosely. I think that's all I've got to say.
Anybody who ever works at TMR River has probably a jillion stories, but I have one that I think might be of interest to you. Those of you who are familiar with Camp Kunata know that, or excuse me, Camp Kiowa, know that beautiful dining hall there. Well, you know, as a reservation director, I had a different director at each one of the camps, and we'd have our staff meetings every once in a while. And it was early in the season, and I was trying to convince the guys that as serious as some of their problems could be, what they really needed to do was to pay attention to the small details, because sometimes these little, small, nagging problems would just fester and grow and just literally bring them to their knees. And the example I used was with Joe King, who was the director of the Camp Kiowa camp at that particular summer. I said, Joe, if your dining hall catches on fire, we'll have breakfast on time tomorrow morning. Guess what? The Camp Kiowa dining hall caught on fire that night, and we had breakfast on time the next morning. It's great to be back here and to see all of you folks here. Thanks so much for letting me take a few minutes of your time.